What is up, everybody? Triple Versity here today, and we have to talk about the biggest news that has happened this week. Apparently, Jim Ryan has finally bent the knee to Microsoft. It has taken this long. We were saying this has been 18 months in the making, but Jim Ryan has finally signed that 10-year deal that Microsoft has been offering for the Call of Duty game to be on these different platforms. PlayStation finally signed it because they say, hey, the FTC failed twice, not only once to try to stop this merger, but they failed twice to stop this merger. That lady, Lena Khan, was just embarrassed on the stage, so it's just hilarious that they just failed twice to try to stop this. But Jim Ryan, he has finally signed that deal with Microsoft to get Call of Duty on PlayStation for at least 10 years before they decide to do otherwise, whether make it exclusive or keep it on PlayStation. But they got at least 10 years to have that Call of Duty, the biggest selling platform that caused all of this controversy in the first place, mainly on PlayStation. They got 10 years to have it on the platform, so we have that. It doesn't say anything about the rest of the Call of Duty, the rest of Activision Blizzard games. So I'm pretty much assuming there's a new IP from Activision Blizzard is going to be exclusive to Microsoft and their ecosystem. I'm pretty sure that's that's how it's going to be. But for right now, Call of Duty will be on PlayStation for 10 years. So Jim Ryan had to finally buckle down and bend the knee. He should have did that from the get go, but we was trying to postpone it for the longest. So with this news, a lot of Xbox guys are celebrating because he's finally get to have Call of Duty and Game Pass, which is a great ad. The newer games might be in Game Pass as well. So all Activision Blizzard catalog is going to be in Game Pass very soon. Like this isn't set in stone yet, but it's most likely because it's like once the FTC failed, the CMA is signing a contract to get this to be approved as well. But most likely the deal's going to go through at this point. And Sony fanboys, especially one in particular, is having a rough time with this information. Which is, I don't know why. Once again, it's just fascinating the excuses these guys use to say why this is a bad thing. But we have this YouTuber, which is actually a pretty big YouTuber. It is like it's just funny that these Sony fanboys, their fanboys on flag will show like these different situations. Like this guy was in the commercials. This is a pretty big YouTuber. This guy's in commercials. Like he's in a Need for Speed commercial. But he has to chime in about this acquisition, saying, sad day. Looks like Microsoft is buying Activision. The celebration of this industry consolidation is kind of wild. You know, I'm getting kind of tired of that word being used now, consolidation. These guys probably didn't know what that word even meant until like a month ago, until this word started being used, or monopoly. They probably thought monopoly was just a board game, but not everybody and their mother wants to use monopoly or consolidation now. It's just annoying. You know, this is the start, and gamers will be the losers here. Gaming is already expensive. I could hardly afford one new console growing up. Meanwhile, this is the guy who's doing commercials, but you know, he's saying he's worried about consolidation. And it's kind of crazy how he says gamers are the biggest losers when Microsoft has the most affordable console on the market and the most accessible console on the market too, because Xbox Series S is normally $300. It's usually on sale for like $250 or $200 on the holidays. And it's like you had Game Pass $2 a month. So it's like, really? If you are financially challenged, this is probably the console for you. But you know, he said it's a sad day ahead. Pretty much sounding like Chicken Little at this point. Like the sky is falling. Like, what are you talking about? It's like if you are a PlayStation owner, you don't lose anything here, except probably like new Activision Blizzard titles come to your platform. But that's how the business works nowadays. It's like Sony excludes many games from Xbox ecosystem, and it's like it's fine that Microsoft fights back in that regard. So I don't know how you're a loser if you were a PlayStation. Yeah, maybe you're a PlayStation only gamer, sure, but it's like that's how business works. This is fascinating. They're just complaining about this. Like the gaming industry is over with. Consolidation is about to be rampant now. And it's like it's already been that way. It's not even getting to the point. It's not even getting to that worrying point anytime soon. So I don't know. There's like a whole bunch of what do you call it? Fear doom saying or fear saying. It's like saying everything's about to be over very soon. It just sounds like to me. So uh This deal will only be worth finally Activision finally brings back Blur because it's not why even bother. Gaming is so expensive. Microsoft literally puts all their first party games on Game Pass. Yeah, you literally have to spend $70 on their games. Their games literally being the Game Pass service day one. So I don't know how this is a bad thing. People are celebrating because Activision games are going to come to Game Pass. Yeah. And this person says, "Aren't you a YouTuber that constantly gets free copies of games?" Yep, still fighting for those less financially sound, but arguing against the console, which arguing against the platform which has the most financially sound options. It doesn't make any sense. That PlayStation bias is across the board at this point. It's like people you think who has a big YouTube channel who gets featured in commercials, still huge Sony fanboys, which is very shocking. And once again, our favorite gif of the pony getting coddled right here. Gamers will be the biggest winners. Here's what the regulators pointed out with their approval. That's a fact. Yeah, I don't see how gamers lose in this scenario. If anything, gamers only winning with this scenario. What are you even butthurt about? The games continue to be multi-platform. Only difference is that they are going to be on Game Pass. That's literally it for right now. So like if you are a Call of Duty enjoyer on PlayStation, you're still gonna have access to those Call of Duty games. So what are they butthurt about again? I don't know. Maybe that Xbox has an edge. You're no longer gonna see those Call of Duty exclusive DLC things on there. All the exclusivity deals with PlayStation gonna be over with. So it's like I don't see how gamers lose in this situation. Gaming is already expensive. Gaming is not only cheaper now, but it's also more accessible. Yeah, this is literally the most cheapest generation for you can get into gaming right now to play the big major games on gaming because it's like Game Pass solves that issue. So definitely, it's a lot cheaper than previous generations. I don't know what this guy's issue is. If you can't afford a Series S, $250, and $10 a month for Game Pass, then gaming is the least of your problems. I agree. Like you probably shouldn't be gaming at that point. And it's even cheaper than that. If you do the Xbox All Access program, you get games from like pretty much that layaway service. We pay a certain amount a month. It's cheaper. It's even cheaper at that option still though. So doom and gloom speeches are y'all last defense. Yeah, they love the pull. They love the pull to the game in its ending when Microsoft has any type of W. It's just fascinating how that always comes to be the case. Oh man, the end is near. He might as well be saying that. You don't have to buy games like us. You get them for free, like from publishers. Privileged YouTubers don't really see the point of Game Pass since you already got the form of Game Pass thanks to publishers giving you free copies of their games. So they don't speak for regular gamers. I agree. Like if you are a big YouTuber, these companies are sending you stuff, then it's like, of course you're not going to understand what the average person goes through because you get stuff for free and you're literally in commercials, so you get stuff sent for free. So like it just feels like very weird for these people to speak on this when you get stuff for free anyway. So Uh, Microsoft was apparently going to fulfill everyone's dreams. At least that's what it seems like. People who want this deal to happen bad. Sad day for who exactly? For you, I think. For me, well, I'm enjoying it too much. Yeah, if you're an Xbox owner, you don't lose. You only win with this deal going through. Like, so I don't know what he's talking about. Like Xbox owners are happy with this because it benefits us. PlayStation owners are mad because their company takes the L. But I don't, well, you're in luck. Xbox bought Activision Blizzard, so you have more choice and better value and more access to games, Game Pass, Xbox All Access, console, PC, handheld, cloud, you name it. Welcome to Xbox. Amazing how a Series S and Game Pass, all you have to say to clap back at this tweet. It is that simple because it's like you're saying it's doom and gloom, but if you like want a cheap entry into gaming, all you gotta do is buy Xbox Series S and Game Pass. There you go. Um, Gaming is just too expensive. We should have to pay $7 for each game, not have the option to set up a subscription service to get access to all those games. Like, bro, I would have killed for a service like the Game Pass when I was a kid. Me, exactly. I wish there was a service like Game Pass when I was a kid, but now there is one. So, and people still complain about it. It just makes no sense. Um, be careful who opinions you listen to. Xbox constantly gets the bad rep from bad actors who can't control their bias. Frankly, if you're calling out Motorfest as Game of the Year, clearly not. With being a Ubisoft partner, you're probably not legit. Is this guy? Oh, this is this guy. Yeah. I don't know. It's like these dudes get sent free stuff to show for these different companies, but he wants to be the voice of reason on why this is a bad deal. Like, nah, I'm not buying it. The people celebrating this are the ones who will be crying once Amazon, Sony, Tencent, Saudi Arabia, and other make big moves. Celebrating consolidation is crazy because in the future, it reduce choices for consumers. Well, that's not happening yet, so we don't know. Um, they say, meanwhile, this is this guy talking about this. So let me get this straight. Sony has been doing this kind of stuff for years, which is I don't understand that too. These people who always have this problem with Microsoft buying this, they never had a problem with Sony was doing this when Sony did all this consolidation, but they don't ever word it as consolidation. Sony making all these third-party exclusivity deals, so much so they pushed Microsoft to the point when they had to respond back, and now they just don't like the response. But they're blaming Microsoft for this issue in gaming when it's like Sony has been a big contributor to why these publishers and companies have been exclusive. So. You don't get to cry now and blame Microsoft. It doesn't make any sense. Gaming is already expensive, but you're rooting for paying $7 for every new game instead of a small fee of $11 a month. Yeah, that doesn't make any sense either. If gaming is so expensive, you shouldn't be rooting for Game Pass. You should be rooting for Game Pass on Xbox, not against it. But you root for spending $7 on new games and complain about how expensive it is. Yeah, I can't take this guy serious. Like I said before, he gets sent free stuff, so I'm not going to take this guy's opinion that seriously like that. LMFAO, ain't no way. There's got to be satire. Glad gamers who are on Xbox dopes realize that Microsoft owning the biggest game creators in the industry is not a good thing. Short run gratification does not make it a good thing. Yes, the third place company owning one of the biggest, owning Activision Blizzard, is going to be a bad thing. Like, once again, you can't be saying they're a monopoly, but also saying they're in third place at the same time. It doesn't make any sense. Like, they can't be a monopoly if they're in third place. Bro still say he didn't get a review code for Forza Horizon 5. Probably. Of course, a privileged YouTuber who gets his free games from publishers doesn't see the value of Game Pass. Sorry you don't speak for gamers who actually buy their games with their hard-earned cash. Speaking from a privileged position, yeah. So he's really getting roasted because, rightfully so, like, you can't be in this privileged position talking about how this is bad for gamers when it's like the average person wants to go through because you get to get these brand new games in Game Pass, which saves us a lot of money each year. But he wouldn't know that perspective because he's not in the same boat. So I'm going to conclude it right here. It is kind of funny that this deal is about to be finally over. This whole merger is about to finally be over. It's not like it's going to be on the beneficial side for Microsoft at this point. And Jim Ryan had to finally just say, hey, enough is enough. After he had that cringy statement that he just wanted to block the merger, I guess he had to give that up and actually bend the knee, as a lot of people are saying at this point. So hilarious nonetheless. But yeah, Activision Blizzard is going to be coming home to Microsoft, so that's a good thing. And not shocking at all, you get Sony fanboys, like I said, at different levels at this point because I guess Sony fanboys come in all walks of life at this point. But yeah, even a fanboy like this who has the most gaming privilege possible is complaining about this. So it's like, why are you complaining about this? It doesn't benefit. It doesn't negatively affect you in the slightest. It only helps out the majority of consumers at this point. But you know, if it's Xbox, they're always against it. So it's just sad to see. But I'm going to conclude it right here. Definitely want to see your thoughts down below about this. Leave a like this video. And as always, thanks for watching, and peace.